John, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Okay, you were hilarious in this, I gotta say, first and foremost. And the concept of Jackpot is really funny to me. For me, I explained it as like the Purge meets Powerball. So I want to know what was your first reaction when you got it and you found out there's this dystopian society that's killing for the Powerball or the
That's
Jackpot.
your view is really close. Purge meets Powerball. That's a really I'm going to borrow that if you don't mind. That's a really good way to describe it to an audience. It's the Purge meets Powerball, and that's exactly how it read. It's a little bit of a stretch, but enough where you can kind of believe, like suspend disbelief, and be like, yeah, this could happen. I kind of get it, and that was exciting about when I read it. I think it was over the top yet realistic, and me coming from WWE, I'm a fan of over the top yet realistic.
Yeah, I mean, so you're so good at comedy and you're so good at action. This allows you to kind of do both. But I want to know from your perspective, which do you prefer? Or is it a project like this where you get to do both?
So, any chance you can get to entertain and call it work, you got to be grateful for. I think comedy, there's something special about comedy because everyone laughs. So when your coworkers, when people on set, when everybody's laughing, everybody's smiling. When everybody's smiling, I think they're having a better day. So I got a soft spot for comedy. I just think it makes a great workplace environment. But man, anytime you can put on a costume and perform for somebody and call it work, that's you gotta thank your stars on that one.
Definitely. Paul said that you told him not to make you look cool. Do you remember that? And what did you mean by that?
So everyone has their own process,
Mhm.
and I like to cut through a lot of the bureaucracy, and I always trust my directors. I think me not having trust in someone trying to direct a show is me clipping their wings in their ability to do their job. So in meeting Paul for the first time, I like to be efficient, kind of cut through the BS.
Yeah.
And the script read that Noel is the butt of a lot of the jokes. So I can't sign up for this and then be like, but I can't do that because it doesn't make me look cool. My very first point of action with Paul was to be like, don't make me look cool. Basically telling him, I read it, I get it, you're gonna bounce a lot of humor off of me, bring it. I think it's gonna be great. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to let him know that like, I'm not coming onto set wanting to change the narrative to make myself look stronger. I want to be a piece where you can bounce humor off, hopefully to make a great movie.
I think it really helped with the chemistry with Awkwafina and Simu as well when you guys were bouncing jokes back and forth. What was it like on set working with them?
Oh, great. Simu's, man, so gifted as a performer. And Nora became a friend very quickly. I love her approach. She's a fantastic human being. And then, of course, Paul is just nonstop ideas and always has jokes and is a great human being as well. Wonderful to hang out with. Being on set was great. It really was a fun time.
They said great things about you too, so they really liked working with you.
We all
There
had a
was
good time.
there was a lot of action, the trunk of the car blowing up, things rolling over. How much of that was you, and how much of that was a stunt double? And did you use some of those WWE moves?
So because the action wasn't so far-fetched, like we did destroy a car, but we destroyed it in a pretty realistic sense. All the fights were very well choreographed, but it wasn't so much so that it was too much of a suspension of disbelief. So I could do a lot of the stuff. A lot of it was practical. Nora did a lot. Awkwafina did a lot of stuff. Simu pretty much did all of his stuff. So normally they would have to call in Spencer Thomas, my absolutely tremendously gifted stunt double, to, put his neck on the line and risk his health to make the movie great. But this one I was able to do a lot of stuff.
Definitely. I saw this, that you put the smackdown on a couple of people, so we like that. We like it.
But I also do get my ass kicked a lot in the movie, so that's something I'm good at as well.
Speaking of that, how do you describe Noel? Because I feel like as the movie went on, you think one thing of him, and he slowly kind of tests your assumptions about him. So how would you describe him?
As someone who has faith in humanity, I think
like
that's an easy way to sum up who he is. It's someone who has faith in humanity, which sometimes is a rare trait. So I like that about his character.
And it's an interesting character when the premise is obviously about sometimes the worst in humanity. When
Yeah,
it
so like that's what makes him so rare, and that's what makes it very hard to believe that his intentions are true,
Yeah.
because no one else around him seems to be able to have the courage to have faith in humanity.
Yeah, he's definitely a breath of fresh air. What was a moment that stuck out to you on set?
Man, some of the outtakes when we met Machine Gun Kelly were so fun, so fun. And there was also a day filming in the car where we had dialogue with Awkwafina and myself, where not only the dialogue was funny and the jokes were funny, but because we were in the car, we were just literally driving around Atlanta, and we ended up having some like wonderful philosophical conversations. So it was a day literally where you could think, laugh, and cry, and that's a good day for me.
Oh, that sounds
I'm
like
here I am with a movie with so many great special effects and so much great action. I'm like, yeah, we were sitting in the car and it was great, but it really was. It was great.
sharing our feelings. Something that's also bittersweet. You announced your retirement. I mean, what do
Yeah,
you think next year is going to look like for you?
it's going to be fun and not bittersweet for me. It's going to be fun. I'm so grateful that I'm in a position where I still have my health and I'm able to carve out a large section of time and perform for a year from January until December, and give everyone also a heads up. A lot of times in WWE, sometimes injuries force retirement all of a sudden. So one day you're there and then the next day you're gone. Or sometimes you say you retire and it's part of the bit, like you want to attack somebody and get a shot at the championship. This is my way for an audience that has made me who I am after 22 to 23 years of investment to say, hey, I'm going to give you 6 months. That's your warning. And then in January, we're going on tour. And then in December, I'm hanging them up. So let's all get together at various spots around the world next calendar year and get loud and rowdy one more time.
Oh, I love that. I love that for you. And I'm honestly glad that it's your choice to walk away from this and you're doing it this way. Thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.